And boom. And a very good Tuesday evening here in the bunker, here in Byron Bay. It's none other than Duane-o here for episode number 5 of the Duane-o Podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, want to listen to the audio, if you're on transit to work, follow the description down below to get on the YouTube, I dare say the iTunes and Spotify and all the other mainstream platforms out there. So joining me for tonight on this episode of the Duane-o Podcast, if you've been to plenty of the venues between, say, Brisbane in the north and maybe Grafton in the south or everywhere in between, your chances are you would have seen this man doing the business on the drums and also doing the business escorting a couple of the buffheads out on a Friday, Saturday night. None other than Josh Paish. How you going tonight, brother?
Oh, Duane-o. Good to be here, mate. Fantastic.
So you're telling me before, just before we were starting up here, you're feeling a bit battered and bruised today. Why is that, bro?
My wife dragged me to the physio, which she shouldn't have to do. I should just go. But I'm useless with my upkeep because I batter my body horrifically, and then I just wait until it sort of breaks down altogether before I have a week off. But I've actually done some preemptive work today, which was good. I'm growing up, Duane-o. I'm becoming a big boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's sort of how I can sort of vouch for you when it comes to the old physio thing. I'm almost thinking I need to get Duane-o Osteopath as a sponsorship deal because my best mate Zach, who works there, he hasn't touched me in that regard for like up until 2 years ago, and then all the mosh pits. I was just saying to my partner Stephanie just this past weekend in Yamba, because I've been having jaw problems and neck problems and you name it, and it's all the years of headbanging at your concerts, bro, and all the mosh pits from out the years, stage diving and all that shit. It's just caught back up to me, and I'm catching up for lost time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you got to pay the piper at some stage, I suppose.
That's exactly right. So as I may have mentioned at the start there, you've been drumming for some amount of time now. So give us a bit of your background. Have you always been behind the kit? Has that always been your ambition, or did you start off another instrument, or how did it all begin for you, man?
Oh, shit, no, I think I took 2 piano lessons when I was about 10 and immediately gave that up because my mum wanted me to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my dad was a drummer. He was a drummer for 30 years. He played with Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs and the Maori High Five, and he played with the Sonics. And I sort of just cottoned onto that because he used to have a kit in the backyard with a gym, and that's what he used to do. He used to go and do his fitness stuff and play drums and practice. And I used to go to gigs when I was 8, 9 and just watch him play. So I took up drums at about the age of, I guess, seriously, probably 11 or 12. So.
Wow. And we're gonna I've dug up some of my old archives there from out the years, man, from all those 1,000 gigs that I filmed and what to, and I'll dig a bit up and show us some of your best stuff. And so what got you into that style of so you say about 11 or 12, you wouldn't have been bashing the shit out of a kit then. Did you start gradually, or what got you into
Yeah, Duane, look, the early days I was very a big fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers and funk, and that's sort of how I started, and even jazz. I love jazz. But as I progressed, I suppose I got filled with more testosterone. I went on to the rock, and then I went through my Primus phase, and Primus is still my favourite band. I love Primus with a passion. Yep. So I got into sort of tech fusion sort of stuff. And then it was metal from sort of, say, 16, 17 onwards. It was just metal. It was Pantera, Metallica, then Slipknot, Mudvayne, all the classics. And that was my favourite genre. And then I sort of, because I started playing with Seven, my sort of, they were the Incubus style band back in the day that we done quite well with. We went to Europe and played a big festival in Hungary, and we done shows all over Australia and sold a lot of albums. Got a couple of singles on Triple J, and so I was with them from, I think I was 17 through to maybe 25.
25, yeah.
Yeah, I was with it quite a while. and then obviously started Cleavage, which is a big jump in heaviness. We were super heavy, and then put out two good albums with Cleavage, and then that's when In Cyde came in the picture.
Of course. Yeah. So well, speaking of Cleavage, I thought I had to dig pretty hard for it, but I found the old 2003. What's it called? What was that album called again from 2003? It was fuck. I only listened to it like 2 hours ago.
What, the last one?
Yeah, the last one. So that was
called Intercourse.
Intercourse. That's the one.
COARSE, because we were such fun guys, Duane.
Oh, mate, Lismore. It's Lismore branded metal at its finest, people.
100%.
It's even
porn metal.
Porn. And
I think you remember.
Oh, of course. Did a good intro into that one too. So I must iterate. What a way for this 18-year-old kid from Byron Bay to get his see, because I remember the first time. Well, Cleavage was the first time, first over 18s band I've ever saw.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So you pretty much had me from the moment I walked into the Great Northern in Byron as an 18-year-old, man. I was fucking scarred for life after that.
The porn metal. Nice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so what a way to if you're going to be a metalhead when you before you turn 18, then what a best way to get a bit of Cleavage from Lismore.
What a way to kick off, John.
And that was the time when you supported Alchemist, and because hence why I looked for Cleavage, because I was listening to the new Alchemist today, hadn't quite got through it yet, and it was when you played with Alchemist and Melodicy, and
okay. Yeah,
and you're in the white jumpsuits, and I'm thought, who the fuck is this band? And this was before social media was running shit out, and you had to naps or something. So I actually remember saying to my mate, I said, "Fuck," I didn't even know who you were from Lismore or enough, and I was thought, "Fuck, let's go look at these guys on Napster or fucking Angel, whatever the fucking." I think it was Napster or something.
Don't let Lars know you were on Napster, bro.
Hey.
Don't let Lars know you're on Napster.
No, better not. But yeah, so I just thought, and I couldn't find it because it's hard enough to find anything like Metallica these days, no pun intended. But yeah, I saw that one time with it's amazing how when this metal scene evolved back in that time would have been 2004, 5, 6. Because then through discovering Cleavage, I discovered Lynch Martyr. Then when I discovered Lynch Martyr, I discovered something else. And it just...
There was some amazing bands coming out around that time. I don't know if you remember, bro, but even just before then, like the late 90s, early 2000s, the scene in Lismore was absolutely incredible. You had, you had bands like us, like Seven. You had Eagle Buns, Surf Star Bands, Bruce, all these amazing uni bands. And you had Unibake and all the Summer Slam, all those awesome underage festivals and stuff. The live scene back then was unbelievable. Like, you look at it now, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But back then, the musicianship level and the crowd levels and the scene was just amazing. They were a really good time.
Yeah. Some of those bands that you mentioned then, probably a little bit before my time, because as I said, that was July 2003. I turned 18 about 4 or 5 months before that. So I didn't have the chance. I actually didn't go to my first ever Lismore show until I think when you played with In Cyde, and that was the following year, 2005 even. And probably to iterate. Yeah, well, probably to iterate. And I said this on a podcast. I forget. I think I spoke to Nathan Cross about this a couple of weeks ago in a podcast. We're talking about how there was kind of a split division between Byron and Lismore a little bit when it came to music and football and certain things. And I didn't, not the saying I bought into it, but then again, I also, as I grew up through the Byron Bay hardcore scene, I had a show I could go to every fortnight and I'd see you guys play. And that's probably what got me into seeing a couple of those bands from Lismore, because we weren't, and the other one was Her Bleeding Eyes and City and Panic from Lismore, those boys there.
Yeah.
And Mick went, Mick has gone to do some big things with Virgin's Crown. So I guess it was just a domino effect where for me personally, I just didn't hear about them. And a couple of those bands you just rattled off then I've never heard of before. So, but it's good to know that the domino effect is still running hot these days.
Oh, dude, there's some incredible bands came out of this area. Like it's crazy. But it's like I said, the scene was way, in Lismore was just really hot around 99, 97 through to 2000 maybe.
97.
Just was an excellent touring scene.
97. I thought I was a fucking old campaigner. I mean, that was I don't even know what it was. I think I might have. I think Metallica might have just come into my collection. 97. Pantera was there, but I was how I found out about Pantera was just through some mate in behind the Newbar school soccer grounds, and he just gave me this tape. I didn't even know it was Pantera, and it was just. I just laughed because it had swearing in it. And I was just like this 10-year-old fucking listening to that. Because obviously I listened to what I was on Rage at that time, and I'm like, what's this? And I hear this, I fucked your girlfriend last night, you're snorting, like, good friends with a bottle of pills. I'm like, what the fuck is this band? I'm just like, oh my God. And it just went boom, 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 Rage Against the Machine. I didn't they were on Rage, but everything was cut out then. And so I got all the unedited version. I'm thinking, holy fuck. So that's sort of my first taste of it as well. But did you have a similar upbringing? Did you have a similar upbringing, or was it just...
Yeah, look, it was pretty eclectic, my upbringing, because my dad had really eclectic taste. Yeah. I liked musicians' bands, you know what I mean, like amazing players. And just, then it was just metal. It was been metal for a long time. I'm really, like, even today, like my taste's really eclectic. I'm right at the moment. I'm listening to Make Them Suffer and Thy Art at the same time as I'm listening to fucking Pointer Sisters and Billy fucking Idol and Billy Crystal and not Billy Crystal. He's a fucking actor.
Mate, you don't want to look. You don't want to. Billy Ocean. Billy Ocean.
Oh mate, I'm a massive fan of his smooth, dulcet tones, Duane-o.
Did you go? Okay, well, did you go to the show last year at the Gold Coast at all? At the convention, or was it at the? Yeah, because
unless I'm getting paid, Duane-o, I don't leave the house these days.
Yeah,
I spent 20 years playing shows and standing in front of fucking nightclubs and pubs.
Yeah.
So if I'm not getting paid, I don't usually leave the house.
Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of like Billy Ocean, Stephanie got one backstage pass with a girlfriend. At the what was it, Star Casino, which used to be Jupiter's, and she actually bought just the fucking like an LP just so get it signed, and so there it is sitting there in the bedroom watching over every night when I'm not at hers. I haven't been able to get up there for a few months because of the border.
Place to have Billy Ocean looking over you too, Duane-o. Absolutely perfect place.
Yeah, but I haven't been able to get there because of the border closures. So hopefully that will change soon, and me, Stephanie, and Billy can all just be under the one roof again, drinking up. So moving on. So you made mention you were playing done the business mainly for In Cyde. That's probably how I best known you from your time. Probably one of your longest careers. What's some of the highlights? Obviously, you did the tour over the US with Nino towards the back half of In Cyde's career. What are some of the other highlights that stood out, man?
Dude, one of the best, like going back, I think one of my favorite gigs, possibly still my favorite gig, even though I've done huge gigs to thousands and things like that. One of my favorite gigs of all time was the first cleavage show at the Golden Hotel. That was it was the first time I'd ever played real heavy, hectic shit in front of a live crowd, and my popularity was really high with Seven, and everybody from Seven came to see it, and they were pumped. So that sticks in all the hundreds and hundreds of gigs I've done. That sticks.
Yeah. So, I think for me personally, because I've got a couple here. So this one here, let me just see if I can bring it up. I'm on the wrong thing here. This was back. It was one of the Northern gigs. And I think I've just completely fucking lost it. But there's actually two here. But this one here, oh fucking hell, I've completely lost it. I had it all prepped. Here we go. So anyway, this one actually was from the Brannigan's Hotel. And
I remember Brannigan's.
Yeah, the Brannigan. How good were those shows back in like 2008-9 period? That was just another. As we were making mention about the Byron Lismore scene back in 3, 4, 5, 6, every Thursday night. I've never I've never racked so many Ks at my little Ford Festiva in my life every Thursday just going to shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll share this one with you and see if this one brings back some memories.
Also Brannigan's. There's Brannigan's and that other venue, the biker bar in Surfers.
The biker bar, yeah, never made it there.
Yeah, it was amazing. That was another one. It was just a really good little scene.
Okay, so check this one out here. So check computers now and play Mr. Music. So see how fucking skinny I was. Man, that was before. Look at me, that. I'll tell you a story about this one, man. I was actually throwing my guts up about 24 hours before this, so I probably that's why I look at that for a corner. And to go with this, and yeah, look at me. You can see me grabbing it around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, man, it's like, and we're talking about how we're moving on. Like, to give you an example from that, like, I was sick as a dog the night before, didn't know if I was going to make that show. And, but I mean, being 20, how old was I? 23 at that point. I held enough to get there and pull that little piece of art off.
When you're that age, nothing stops you. You know what I'm saying? When you're that age, nothing stops you.
Yeah, but then as of last year, that was the last time I actually had food poisoning. But then this time, I think September last year, same thing happened. It was the first time since then I actually had food poisoning. It took me a fucking week to recover. I was fucked. Yeah,
food poisoning is the worst. Shitting and spewing everywhere. There's nothing worse.
Yeah, so it's more or less as you were saying before, man. It's like if you're catching up with all the physio stuff, I could second fold that. Like I used to be as in line in one of your songs, man, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Literally a lot of these gigs. Still, if I could borrow a line from one of your songs, man, it was like. I felt like I was invincible, and I went into some length with in the last podcast I did with Trevor Osborne, just like being in all these mosh pits throughout the year, getting clipped in the eye, like slipping a disc in my lower back, and the worst thing that would happen is a bit of general soreness and stiffness, and you'd be right. But now I can't even, and like I'll show you some of the because we're going to get into a bit of some of this weightlifting stuff that you do as well. I can't even pick a fucking 5 kilo bag over my shoulder without damaging the nerves in my shoulder and, you know, having the scalene muscles not respond to it as well. And that's, so that's the way that's, as I said, we're getting too old for this shit, man.
Oh, look, dude, like it's, no, what do you want to know about the weightlifting stuff, bro? Put me on the track.
Yeah, so just give us a bit of your history, bro. Like, what did that come before drumming or?
Yeah, no, not really. I was always interested in sport. I was always good at sport at school. I played rugby league, played rugby union, played basketball. I was pretty sporty, but I started training because I was a pretty skinny kid too. Okay. And then I started training just to bulk up for footy, pretty much. And then I was in the gym at Martin Street, and that was a pretty hardcore gym. And the boys just noticed that I was quite strong, and because I was never very big, you know. But they noticed that I was throwing some decent weight around for my size, and they just referred me to a powerlifting coach.
Okay.
So I went along, and then I started powerlifting, and he saw my potential, started training me, And within the first year, I think I'd set my first record.
Yeah.
In the bench. I was a specialist bench presser. And then I got a bunch of titles. And I think I set 2 Australian records.
Wow.
And then I done a world championship.
That's cool.
And then I sort of moved from that into I tried my hand at bodybuilding, but it's way too fucking hard.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I can't. I love my food too much. I can't do it.
What do you make? Sorry. What do you make of the whole? I'm not sure if you've heard of it or not, but what do you make of the whole weightlifting controversy with that New Zealand weightlifter? I forget what her last name being Hubbard. Are you familiar with? She was once like female going into male, and then trying to break all those records. And I mean, for me, I just think it's
female going into male. That's fine.
Yeah,
because she's not getting a boost going from female to male.
Yeah.
She's at a disadvantage. Going the other way, it's bullshit.
I know. Yeah, that's right. But from male to female, and she was breaking all these records, like the Oceania records.
No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair for the women. Train as hard as they possibly can. They're at a deficit with estrogen as it is. You can't sort of be a man for 30 years and then turn around and go, oh, okay. I'm going to go and beat a bunch of biological females that have been struggling without a pair of testicles for their entire lives. It's kind of a bit of a bullshit thing to do.
I know it is. I know, and it's just not that I wish injury upon anyone, but the only reason she won the gold medal in the Commonwealth Games last year, because I think she was on her way to winning it, and then I think she'd done her wrist in I think it was a clean and jerk lift or something, and I think she snapped her wrist, and then she initially retired, but she's making a comeback, and I'm just like, okay.
As much as I wish everybody well, you do you, it's no drama, but when it comes to sport, that's all the tiny little things matter.
Absolutely.
Let alone a huge thing like having a pair of balls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The tiniest little things matter. So if you've got a pair of balls, you probably shouldn't be competing against females.
That's right.
It's not cool at all.
That's right.
Unless you've been if you've been on hormone therapy and testosterone reduction for a decade and you're not getting any benefit, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But you can't just be an athlete for 20 years and then turn around and go, okay, cool, I want to compete against chicks now.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, and as I said, if that's the person's personal choice to be male, female, male, fine. If it's 100%. And if it's, and it's not the issue there. The issue is that like you see it in like mixed martial arts as well. Like there was this I forget the person's name, but Joe Rogan's talked about it in his podcast. Because it's mentally in, like, if you're going from male to female, but the male mentality is still there to know how to like to punch and kick and
look, it's just biology. Yeah. Not even mentality, it's just biology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like I said, it'd be the same as a woman who's been on steroids, heavy doses of steroids for a decade.
Yeah,
she'd be at a much higher advantage than the girls that haven't. It's just not. It's not a male, female, or a transsexual thing. It's a fairness thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it's just we don't hear about it in the media or anything like that. Like, there's always debate, but you never, unless it's just the whole narrative thing as well. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, there's people trying. I think they get their hearts in the right place, possibly. They want to stand up for trans rights and stuff like that, and 100% do that. Yeah, that's great, absolutely. But you can't be clouded as well, and turn around and be unfair to biological women in the process. Right. That's silly.
Absolutely. So, also too, man, is I should have said this at the start of the show. Congrats on the new little bubs. The last couple of months. A couple of months ago now, was it?
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm doing it all again. 5 weeks today.
And how's this one faring? Like, and I normally say this to all the people that I talk to on the podcast. With the whole coronavirus thing that's happening. Obviously that's taken place during the pandemic. How's this whole coronavirus thing been for you on a personal scale, man?
It's fucking sucked, Duane-o. I haven't been on stage since it all fucking came crashing down.
Yeah.
It sucks on a personal level. It sucks on a financial level.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
I know. But
No, that's not to mention how fucking bad it is with everybody dying too.
yeah,
I'm whinging about not being on stage, like it's horrific, but it's shit. I can't see too many positives about it.
I know. But with that being said, there was a little announcement. I saw gleaming through the Facebook this afternoon. There was a little announcement on the Beast Machine front.
Yeah, we finally got our first gig, September 12th at Vinny's Dive. I can't believe it. I'm that excited.
I've never actually been to Vinny's yet.
It's just a really cool, classic American dive bar sort of feel. It's fucking rad. We play in the States a lot, and a lot of the bars in the States are like that. They got a lot of character.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than pubs. Australian pubs don't have much sort of character, but the venues in America that have a real character about them. They're weird and quirky, and very all about the bands. Like that's what you're there for. You're not there to sit there and drink as well.
Yeah.
You're there to see live music, and I love that.
That's so cool, and it's and you've played a lot of shows over there with In Cyde and stuff, and that's probably one of the questions I was going to ask. So, was that like the whole, because you did a whole American tour. You didn't just go to like on the West Coast or like just played the West Side and then Texas, and you did a whole circuit, good whole month tour. So was that like that? Yeah, was that a good whole, like, was that sort of like the vibe the whole way through? Like what you just mentioned?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I just remembered, I was talking to my wife about the other day. The venues that we found, at least even in the backwaters of fucking nowhere, like, not nowhere, but smaller places like Arkansas in the middle of the Bible Belt and things like that.
Yeah.
And these quirky ass venues, and it was just amazing. It was just some really cool stuff. Like we played in Milwaukee at this place, this hundreds and hundreds of years old place. They had a big ballroom and an empty swimming pool in the basement, and it was like The Shining. It was just incredible. And there was just places like that, and there was one place that had everything was outdoors was brought indoors. There was cars in there through the wall, and it acted like an outdoor market, but it was indoors, and it's just cool, quirky shit. And I'm a big fan of that. I like quirky shit. I don't like fucking boring shit.
Yeah.
So I loved that. So some of the venues, like we played the Whiskey A Go Go, obviously not on that tour. We played it with Beast Machine last 2 years running. And that's obviously an amazing venue to play. All those venues are great. We played the Rainbow Room last year too with Beast Machine for the first time. Never played the Rainbow before. It's cool as fuck. Yeah. All those sort of iconic old cool venues are always good to play.
And so getting a vibe from all these American shows, man. So do they have a bit of a grip on what Australian metal is like over there? Are they just curious, or they're sort of in the dark, or they just
they only know Parkway, obviously. Parkway's big over there.
Yeah, that's
about it, I think. But because Australia's got some incredible metal, but the support for it in Australia is fucking near zero. Not by people, but by the industry. Industry-wise for the original heavy shit, it's not great. It's getting better.
Yeah, and I kind of get that vibe a bit too, because when I was talking to Mick, I interviewed him a few years ago, I think on one of Hoagie's shows, and this was kind of when Aversion's Crown first. It was just off the back of their first European tour, and he was telling me how much actually Australian metal is getting exposed over there, not just Parkway or Died as Murder or In Art's Wake or whatever, like bands like Lord and fucking what's another one, Alarum, as I made mentioned, or mainly all the power progressive stuff, Dead Letter Circus and stuff, and it's I'm actually sort of not surprised that you tell me that the Americans kind of keep themselves. I probably just listened to Five Finger Death Punch, and with Breaking Benjamin and all those bands on repeat, and
you know what it's like. Like the market's saturated, and most people, other than people like yourselves and people that seek out good music and seek it out, because you've got to seek it out. It annoys me when people say there's no good music anymore. There's fucking amazing music everywhere. It's just that you're not listening to it.
That's right.
You listen to the fucking radio. You're not going to hear anything on the radio but shit most of the time. There's about 3 good shows. The rest of it's all just hot garbage.
I'll give you an example on how backwards mainstream radio is. I remember I was listening to our local radio station here. I'm not going to drop the name because I don't want to. This podcast is only just evolving enough. It's like a couple of bits of hate mail. I'm going, boom. Yeah. So, but we know what it is. And they classed, right? They're saying after they played their fucking top 10, whatever, for the 5th time that day, and it wasn't even lunchtime. They're saying coming up, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to and get ready for this. They said, and we're going to have a bit of metal from Nickelback. Metal.
Yeah, that fucking makes
Nickelback.
me angry straight away.
For fuck's sakes.
What are you talking about? That's how fucking backwards these people are. You know, you're a fucking nerd. If you don't know it, and that's the problem too, they've got big egos. It's the same as half the fucking people that are signing albums, artists for record labels. They think they know what they're talking about. They don't know shit. So they're just getting whatever the next cookie cutter fucking thing, like Justin Bieber or fucking Cardi B or Lil Wayne or the rest of if it sounds like that, they'll sign it. If it's out of the box, they won't sign it. And that's been the record industry for a long time now. It fucking sucks. Mainstream music sucks at the moment.
That's right.
That's why, because all the money's dropped out. The money's dropped out. Like back in the day, there was heaps of money, so they could take a chance. They could sign whoever they fucking wanted, even though if it was weird or they didn't judge. But there's no money in the mainstream sort of arena for any room for mistakes now.
Yeah.
How often do A&R go out and seek bands out at live venues now? They don't do it. It's all about social media. What's your following?
That's right.
How much money can make from you quickly and turn you over to the next thing. And that's right. The career bands too. Back in the day when you used to have a career band and work with an artist, I don't know. Maybe it still happens, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like I said this to Trev, who does photography, and a lot of film work, and he does some pretty neat shit, and it just made me realize that I look at how many Instagram he's following. He's probably a 0 on the back of what he's got, short of what he should have, and then I see what else is getting big hits and whatnot. And I'm not going to go into a big thing about it now, but it's basically, to put it nicely, it's what you look and who you know, not what you can do and what you can offer.
Duane-o, it hasn't been about talent for years.
That's right.
For years. It's sad, fucking sad.
I know.
I know heaps of amazing bands that I came up with. I was all just disbanded. They were incredible. Could have been, the next fucking Incubus. They could have been the next Metallica, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can only do so much before your spirit breaks.
That's right.
It's the same with In Cyde. I still to this day loved In Cyde. It was just a fucking really special project, And we gave everything. We gave our money. We gave our blood, sweat, and tears. Took away time from our families. Wrote really incredible, intricate metal, and we got a really loyal fan base, and we loved them dearly. But we could only do so much. We could only do so much before the boys cracked under the pressure, and then we had to disband. That broke my heart. That one.
Yeah,
I was just lucky that Reg came down and I formed Beast Machine and just fucking stumbled upon that. That was just serendipity, Now I'm fucking absolutely wrapped with that. But you just got to keep pushing, Duane-o. There's no point in whinging about it and bowing out. You spend your whole life and hours a day and study. And I studied at the MIT in America. I studied drums there. I that's all I've done is to hone myself to get myself one of the, a world-class drummer. What are you going to do? Walk away?
That's right.
You just got to keep pushing.
That's right, and you got to keep pushing, and especially in times like this, it's like no road's an easy road, and the other thing is shit happens for a reason. It's and I can vouch on everything that you've said because I as well as you guys, I know the In Cyde boys. I know that you got Cavey had to come from fucking Grafton, and then got Nick from the 2 other guys from the Gold Coast, and then you're somewhere in the middle, and it's like just to meet up on a rehearsal, and this was before we Zoom and Skype and all that, where people can now, because I was talking to Chuddy from Christ Collapse a couple of weeks ago on this podcast. He's just formed a new band in Newcastle, Faith in Lies, and I just said to him, I don't think he's even spent more than like a couple of hours in the room with these guys physically, because everything's done. He's playing guitar through Zoom, and that's the way they do it. And a lot of bands are doing that these days. And so, yeah. And so what would think if like this, say, if we had what we had now, say 5-10 years ago, and we're playing hypotheticals, I know, but if that was the case today for In Cyde and having a bit more of a digital involvement, skies would have been the limit.
Dude, the amount of work, and more than other people, the amount of work and money and sacrifice you put into a band is unbelievable. For people to whinge about a $10 cover charge. It's funny. Even my wife, she had no idea. And the work that you put into putting out quality music, like you can write garbage on a computer. Yeah. That's fucking easy. Yeah. But if you want to write an actual song with actual instruments and write them and meaningful lyrics, not about fucking being in the club and how much money you got and that garbage, actual meaning lyrics, the poetic that you got to write, and they've got to suit the melody line and the mood of the song. It's a really long, hard process, and it takes a lot of commitment. So it's a labor of love. All it is. It's a lifestyle and it's a passion. So
and not just the actual writing part and what's coming from the heart part. A lot of these songs that are getting written these days are from fucking hardships. And like you look at, it's like you take for example the Ghost In Cyde, who were in that really, really bad bus crash like 5 years ago. They almost fucking died, almost got wiped out. And the shit that they've had to get through, I think the drummer lost a leg, so he's playing with one leg, and they've only just released a new album, and some of the stuff that would have been all based on that. I confess I haven't like read each lyric for all their songs, but just the message is out there, so people living through these hardships and adversity, as well as the hardships of getting it all onto paper.
Oh, well, Duane, it's one of those things too, mate. Like, I think some of the best music comes from pain. Yeah. I don't hear too many fucking happy, stupid, happy-go-lucky songs that I like. I can tell you that. Yeah. It's got to have passion. It's got to have power for me. That's why I don't like fucking pop music really in general. Listening to the radio, because it's just fucking garbage, just vapid garbage. Same as like a lot of the culture, at the moment, it's just vapid shit. Keeping up with the Kardashians. 16 and pregnant, fucking, it's just all vapid, ridiculous garbage, and the amount of money that's directed towards that, because I think fucking people are getting stupider and they're consuming it more. So right. It's hard to listen to an In Cyde record that's got fucking 3 different timing signatures and ridiculous amount of. That's difficult. It takes an investment. You got to listen to it. It's easy to listen to something that just has a 4 on the floor beat and a sub at the start of every bar and trap hats. That's easy. So you can switch off and do that. So I understand why it's popular. Yeah. But it's just not for me. It's the same as that sort of TV. It's hard to put an investment in a really smart, well-written show. You've got to follow the plot line for. It's fucking easy to laugh at some stupid bitch trying to choose what salad she wants to eat. Yeah. It's just easy to do those sort of things. So I understand why it's popular, but it's still fucking sad.
I know, and that's the sad world we live in, man. And it's and that's always going to be the case. But something that I've dug up as well. So through your time through In Cyde, you've had a bit of a collaboration with Nino. That's who brought you on tour. Tell us a bit about that, man.
Look, it was Nick's contact. Nick was friends with Dave Shivari's wife. That's the drummer and manager, Will Nino.
Yeah.
And that's where it started. We got him to produce a track for us. He liked it. He liked us. And he took us on tour. So we worked at a management deal and a couple other deals in the States. But, shit didn't actually come out because we disbanded before it could. But we had an absolute ball. Toured the States in a tour bus, rock star style. Played thousands, fucking amazing. So you can wallow in the bad shit, or you can look at the good shit.
And you actually also too, and we hung out for a bit during the tour in Melbourne and Perth as well. And I'm going to play a bit of footage from this. You actually went on tour with Nino with Toddy Hansen and a couple of the other boys, and played a bit of percussion. So how was that playing like one of the main stages of Soundwave?
Oh, fucking amazing. Yeah, that was a highlight. That one was great. I like percussive ensembles too. It's something I've tried to get together a couple of times. But yeah, Dave just called me and said put together a troupe, and I did. And then we just we done the intro, and we done a percussive section in every show at Soundwave. It was great. That was an amazing time.
Okay. All right. So this one here I'm going to bring up. So this is from my little personal camera. This is about 35-degree day in Perth. And I think we can see. So I think you'll come through the other side here. How was it playing at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon? And we're back here with Joshy Paish. So we had a bit of a change of scenery there, bro.
We did. I was running out of batteries.
Yeah, we took the tour of the Paish household of where you are, and
my balls off in front of the heater.
So we've recovered a bit of your history from your early days, a bit of Inside, and just your cameos and stuff. You would have had some memories, no doubt, some tour stories, highs and lows. Give us probably your highest memory and then your lowest memory. Like thinking like one of your what the fuck moments.
Fuck me, that's a loaded question, Duane-o. Well, obviously one of the biggest moments was playing the Hungary Festival in Budapest.
Of course.
That was huge. That was a lot of people. That was probably the biggest crowd I've ever played to. It was a huge festival. Oh, no, it wouldn't be. Soundwave would be the biggest crowd. Yeah, look, the early Northern shows were probably my highlights. They were just, I don't know, they were just special shows. They were, the scene was really good. The sound was good, and it was just, like I played way bigger shows, but as far as like, satisfaction goes, they were great. They were so much fun, and I really enjoyed them. So around sort of the 99 through to 2005 era, around the Great Northern was amazing. But yeah, so many career high. Maybe the show with In Cyde in New York. We played the Gramercy Theatre in New York.
Yeah,
the sold out show there to thousands, and it was an amazing experience because the like. Dave and the boys from Il Nino said, look, New York crowds are tough. Don't worry about it if they don't like you. They really sort of sold it to us like we were going to fail. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it if they don't really like you. They're just tough crowds. And we're like, oh, fuck, all right, what are we getting ourselves into? And we just walked on stage and absolutely murdered, just killed it. So that sticks in my head. That was fucking amazing.
Now, there was a show on that tour. I think it was just a one-off show. I don't know if that was a New York show or not because they're from New York, but Madball, like the old school hardcore band from New York.
That was in Jersey, right?
Sorry?
Yeah, we played Jersey with Madball.
Yeah, and so I was going to say, because if that was in New York, that would have been like no pressure whatsoever because they're like, then when we're sick of it all, they're considered gods in New York. But like,
100%. Yeah, Jersey show was good, but the New York show was amazing.
Yeah. And did you get a chance to meet the guys from Madball at all, or any of the?
Yeah, Bill. Yep. So that sticks in my memory. Those couple of things stick in my memory, and also bad wise. Oh fuck. I think one of the worst ones was possibly with Seven. It was towards the end of Seven before I quit, and everything. Like, we were doing really big things, and it was great. We had some amazing times. And it was one of the first shows we did with a big agency we signed to in Sydney. And they booked us into this fucking shit place in Newcastle, and I can't even remember the name of. But we were off the back of some really great shows, and we drove there, and we had to drive on to Sydney to play again.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of shit. I had a massive kit. We had, we were a 5-piece. Unloaded all our shit, set up, and there was just no one there. Nobody gave a fuck. Yeah. And it was one of those venues, just shit venues that didn't even put a poster out. Some Australian venues, or not even Australian, just some venues in general are fucking woeful with promo. They don't even put a proper stage up. They won't put proper lighting up. They won't do proper promo. And those venues fucking suck. They're usually run by some old fucking publican who expects more than he can, pays nothing and expects everything.
Wasn't the Cambridge Hotel, was it, Joshy?
Dude, I have no idea. All I know is that we had this massive setup, and it was this big room with 2 fucking old bogan dudes at the bar, and we started playing, and literally, I'm not bullshitting you, they turned around with beers in hand, screwed up their faces, and left. And that was it. We played the rest of the set to a fucking empty bar for nothing.
Well, they were probably.
It was just shit.
They probably didn't know that you were going to play like a Jimmy Barnes cover, back to back with Hoodoo Gurus or some fucking footy yobbo music.
The people yell out, "Fucking play K-Song." Those fucking idiots.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like you iterate that, and I'll hit it home here. Is that that's your time with Inside Night, and I've been to a fair amount of shows, and I think I joke with you and I've joked with Nick and stuff. I think it actually probably is. It's probably one either the other end, but you're up there with Parkway Drive and the amount of times I've seen. So I've seen you guys with Parkway Drive probably the most I've seen throughout my time, and by far you guys put on some of the most fun shows I've ever been to. Probably with Stone Mountain as well, and like Stone Mountain's just a little band like. I think Stone Mountain was a band that should have gotten more exposure and whatnot, but that was some of the most fun shows I've ever fucking been to. Better than fucking the 1,000 at the Tivoli or whatever. Like, just a good Northern shows. It's like, as a punter and being involved, it's because, especially with the Byron Bay scene and like the Byron Bay hardcore scene, especially, it's like you, and I guess you can iterate from a Lismore scale. The fun part about it was, there might only be about 50 or 100 people there, but everyone knows everyone, or they know someone who knows that person.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's just a great scene. Yeah, it was just good for me too, bro. Around there, because I was always bouncing at the venues around town, so I knew everybody, and a lot of the people didn't even know I played drums. Like when you're in that scene, completely different scene to musicians. So it's funny, you used to just drop a lot of fucking jaws when I'd go on stage and they used to see me on the door.
Yeah, I was one of them. I saw you bounce at the door once, but then I saw you first. Well, actually, I saw you playing cleavage. I didn't really stand out. Like I was just taken in by the white jumpsuits you were wearing. But then the first time I knew you played drums was actually was Inside when you were a 3-piece at the Missing in Bridge gig, like that January 2005, I think it was.
Yeah, that's back in the day. Yeah.
That's when you had the drum kit out the front, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this guy's going monster?" And then I just thought, man, I'm keeping tabs on this fucking band, and so I have. But then it's also evolved into getting to know other bands as well, and and that's what the great thing about like the local scene when we had Once Upon a Time is that you would know people, and I made a lot of friends through your band as well. Some through Nick, mostly through Nick and from the Gold Coast side, but it's
Nick was the social guy, bro. Nick was the social guy. He's got a great personality, Nick. He was that side of it for Inside.
And I've made lifelong friendships through your band, like via your band, and had some great tales myself and lots of drive. So it's provided people like me who will go to these shows. It's given me better memories than say, well, look, I wouldn't say better memories, just different kinds. Like saying if you're going to see that big band for the first time, like from overseas. But then again, especially now, like how I am now, I can't stand fucking crowds more than say 50 people now. Anyway, it's like
the only time I'll ever go to a show is a small show.
And that's right.
I don't go to big shows anymore. It just pisses me off.
Yeah. So we'll get this all wrapped up. I had more to discuss, but we'll save it for the next go around, man. It's a part 2 series or whatnot. But speaking about Beast Machine, so obviously we're in uncertain times at the present and whatnot. What are your plans heading into the next once all this COVID bullshit kind of blows over?
Yeah, well, dude, we're in a real songwriting phase with Beast Machine. You know, because it's just been awesome to sort of switch up to, you know, to listening to songs or to writing songs we just love listening to too. So yeah, it's gone more heavy proggy rock really. But it's you know, Reg's pipes are fucking great. He's an amazing lyricist and vocalist. So we're showcasing that more with the new stuff. Like the new single "Bad Dream" is sort of indicative of the way we're going. That'll be out in the next probably a month. So the show at Vinnie's will be like the single launch for the Gold Coast for "Bad Dream," and that's off the last album, the newest album. And then we're also in the process of demoing 5 tracks where we're going to record and have out early 2021. Yeah,
and and you've released you only released the new music like not long ago. That's it's been getting a heavy play on my Spotify list whilst I'm doing the work from home at the moment. So but I guess it kind of forced the hand. I know the Parkway Drive boys, and I said this in another podcast, that I was actually supposed to see them play a couple of weeks ago up with Hatebreed and Every Time I Die, and then they were going to write in 2021, but now they've had to do a switcheroo because they can't travel anywhere, so they thought, well, we'll go and do that. So I think it's at least there's going to be some fucking but at least there's going to be some fucking good music on all fronts when this is all over. And
it's been great for productivity. Yeah. I must admit, because we only just wrote that up. We only just put that album out.
That's what I was
thinking. It's been going quite well. I've been getting quite a lot of radio play, you know, and commercial radio play, and that's been really nice. You know, it's been because we come from such a heavy tech background. It's been nice to get some good commercial play to reach some more people that you wouldn't normally reach.
That's great.
Usually, when you put some brutal track on from the day, a lot of people immediately get alienated. It's nice to get a little bit more, you know, still write true to yourself, write good quality, awesome music, but have it sort of a little bit more accessible is kind of nice. That's where we're at the moment. We could fucking do a complete 180 next year and write something ridiculously heavy.
So let's put it this way. If mainstream media consider Nickelback as metal, what do you reckon they consider Beast Machine?
Oh, fuck. It'll be Christ. Death grind.
Not porn metal. Probably not all.
Oh, look, I think Cleavage was probably the only porn metal band ever to come out of Australia. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I can say that now, and I can certainly say in today as well, because how Australia's gone to drinking the PC Kool-Aid, so to speak. So
yeah, we were a long way from that.
I was fucking listening. As I said, I was listening to a bit this afternoon, and I think on top of I don't think that would ever be said a lot of day now. And then I think there's also a reason why Rodney Rood's in his 70s, but I think there's a reason why he fucking pulled stunts on his career too. And Kevin Bloody Wilson's still going. He's actually doing the podcasts every Sunday, playing from his little bunker and stuff. And I think that's cool. But he doesn't give a shit, you know.
No, of course he doesn't. Why would he?
Yeah. And why should any normal Australian person? Because that's what makes it.
You get to this stage in your career, you don't give a fuck. When you're younger, you care about who you offend, and you want to be all liked by everybody. Yeah. And then you get to a certain age and you realize you can't be liked by everybody, no matter what you do.
That's right.
The more you try to make people like you, the less people fucking like you. It's all about being real. You've got to be real.
Well, Richie Beno said it once. He said, "You'll never get 50% agreement on anything." That's what he said. You'll never get 50. You'll never find anyone where, I think, no, I didn't say never. He said you'll find it hard to find 50%.
Difficult.
that was on the back of that Trevor Chappell underarm bowl. You look it up on YouTube, and I thought that that was the best comeback on best burn on anything that I've ever seen. Old Richie.
Good old Richie.
All right, man. So you've also I've been meaning to talk to you about Outshine too, but we'll pick up that in the coming weeks or whatnot. We'll catch up again. But as far as Beast Machine and all that go, where can they find you on Spotify and Instagram, bro?
Mate, yeah, just Beast Machine Band everywhere. Everywhere, just Beast Machine Band. Okay. So Insta's Beast Machine Band or Beast Machine 666 is my one.
And there it is there. And of course, I will have
Beast Machine Band.
Okay. All right. So, and of course, I'll have the links to the Beast Machine stuff in the description here on below in this video. And so we've covered a bit of Beast Machine then. So next time we chat, Josh, we'll talk a bit more on the outside front, and then a couple more stories to tell, man, because there's plenty out there. I mean, I was digging through those archives, man, and I was thinking, holy shit.
You didn't even touch on the bouncing stuff or the inside King's Cross stories.
And we'll get to that in part 2, man. Like, because that's what I love about these podcasts, man. We talk about it, and then I'm thinking, and I had this with the other boys. I'm thinking, oh shit, we got to cover this next time. So, and it gives more involvement and more content, and instead of just putting it into a 3-hour thing like Rogan does, split it up, and so then it evolves better. It sinks in.
Are people ready for those stories, Duane-o? You think they're ready for those stories these days?
All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you. I'll get you back. Let you get back onto the family life of things. And of course, just follow the links there if you want to catch all Beast Machine stuff on Spotify and on Instagram and all the social media pages. And if you want to, as I may mention at the start here, from the DUANEO Podcast, if you want to listen to an audio format, head down there as well. You can listen to us on Spotify also and on iTunes. Joshy, absolute pleasure, brother. Cannot wait to do this again.
Legend. Thanks, Duane-o.
And we'll be back with you next week for episode 6 of the Duane-o Podcast. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week and don't text and drive, folks. Have a good evening.